All right, we keep the quarterback train moving. Jayden Daniels goes to the Washington Commanders with the second pick in the NFL draft. And Jayden Daniels, one of the more fascinating prospects this year. We all knew Caleb Williams and Drake May heading into the year were the guys. They were the guys that we were highlighting 1-2 the entire offseason, basically, heading in 2023. And for Jayden Daniels to be able to crack into that group, where Drake May was locked in at number 2 for a long time. People were saying without Caleb Williams, Drake May was one of the better prospects we've seen in a long time. It really shows the type of season that Jayden Daniels had with LSU this year. 40 touchdowns and 4 interceptions, over 1,134 rushing yards and 10 scores on the ground. I mean, the development, I can't even say development, the ascension, the rise to stardom for Jayden Daniels from a year before, 17 touchdowns, 3 interceptions at LSU. Year before that, 10-10 at Arizona State. And we're talking about someone who really has shown progression year in and year out at the college level to the point where he became a superstar. And he elevated to number 2 in the draft and cracked into a top 2 that was seemingly locked. So incredibly impressive. And it shows the talent that Jayden Daniels possesses, the dual threat ability that he has. He's going to be one of the better running quarterbacks immediately in the NFL. And I understand the reason for concern with his weight. There's a reason he didn't weigh in at the NFL Combine. He knows he's skinny. His camp knows he's skinny. The Commanders knows he's skinny. But at the end of the day, the talent is there. And I have a hard time passing up on talent when I see it. It's just like Tyrann Mathieu. I always go back to this one. Tyrann Mathieu looks unbelievable. Another LSU guy. And he fell in the draft when I remember when the Cardinals drafted him. I went, all right, you got a star. You can see talent when it's there. And Jayden Daniels all year long was great at LSU this year. The weight is a little concerning. Now, think about all the hits that Cam Newton took. Think about Anthony Richardson, bigger guys than Jayden Daniels. Anthony Richardson played in 4 games and got hurt in 3 of them last season. And he is much bigger than Jayden Daniels. So getting smarter, knowing when to take hits, and knowing when to get down or out of bounds, that's something that a lot of people said Jayden Daniels took way too many unnecessary hits. And that's something, the NFC East, they hit hard. Cowboys, Giants, Eagles, those games are hard-hitting games for the Commanders. You got to learn the moments to slide, the moments to avoid the big injury risks. So he'll probably get there. Marcus Mariota being the backup there, I like that as a veteran, a mentor perhaps. We saw in quarterback, Mariota seems like a great guy, another mobile quarterback who could help mold Jayden Daniels and potentially form the next franchise quarterback in Washington. And it seems like the pre-draft problems, whatever those were, I didn't look too deep into it. The Jayden Daniels Commanders rift, he seemed to have shrugged them off, but obviously not that big of a deal since they drafted him. But you think about from the Commanders standpoint, so much drama around this team for so many years with Snyder. For God's sake, the name of the team. They've really had no stability at the quarterback position other than a couple of years at Kirk. We talk about the Bears, how they really haven't had a quarterback ever. The Commanders have had their guys, but it's been a long time. Other than Kirk, another team that's bounced around quarterback after quarterback, swinging and missing in the draft. Obviously, RG3 had the injury. They've had bad quarterback luck as well. But now with Dan Quinn taking over Cliff Kingsbury, you're hoping this could be the guy, and he's coming into a situation. I don't want to say it's as good as Chicago's offense. I like the weapons there a little bit more, but you can't complain too much with Terry McLaurin, who's crazy underrated. A phenomenal receiver. You have Jahan Dotson there, another explosive weapon. They just bring in Austin Eckler. Another situation where a highly drafted quarterback is coming in with a lot of weapons around him, a lot of good weapons, someone like players that can make plays in open space. It's a nice situation for Jayden Daniels to enter. And it's it's a team that really needs it. They've been in 3rd or worse in the NFC East 7 of the last 8 years. They won the division, 2020, I believe it was, somewhere around there. But 3rd or worse, 7 of the last 8 years. Not a lot of success in Washington. In fact, a lot of embarrassing moments in Washington. So it's needed, this quarterback draft here. There's a reason that the Commanders weren't really in the news this offseason about people trying to trade up. I know something came out about the Raiders recently, but they knew they needed a quarterback. Their fans knew it. They made it very clear, we're drafting a quarterback. We're not trading this pick. And it was the right decision because you need a quarterback to be good. And we'll see what New England does. By the time people are watching this, New England will have made their decision already. But we all know in the NFL, until you get your quarterback, you're not in a place to win. I know there are exceptions once in a while, but 95, 99% of the time, until you have your guy, it's really hard to win without a quarterback. And the Commanders knew that, and I applaud them for going and taking a swing. Jayden Daniels, like I would have taken May personally, but Jayden Daniels has all the talent in the world. It's a matter of molding that and getting him to become more consistent and hopefully not get injured. Probably bulk up a little bit, and we'll see where it goes. But this is another fun night for the Commanders, fun night for the Bears. A really great NFL draft. I can't remember, and we obviously we have the entire night to go, but I can't remember a draft that I've been so excited for. Partially as a Vikings fan with what's to come later on, but the quarterbacks just make it that much more interesting. And here we are now, two gone, two franchises now, the Bears and the Commanders, with a lot more hope than they had just a couple hours ago. So we'll continue on, hopefully, with more of the quarterback reactions later. And as I said, the Green Bay Packers to help out our fan base. So appreciate everyone listening. See you soon.